Imagine a family that falls asleep to the sound of thunder, dines by candlelight in a Gothic mansion, and considers it a wonderful day when a vase almost crushes someone's head. That's the Addams family, but if you think they're just a bunch of spooky weirdos with a flair for skulls and deadly booby traps, you're missing the genius beneath the cobwebs. Truth is, the Addams are a quiet revolution in creepy clothing. They're not just here to give you Halloween vibes all year long. What they've been doing, since their very first appearance, is holding up a mirror to society and asking, what if the idea of the perfect family is actually the scariest fiction of all? While the world claps for white picket fences, tidy rolls, and smiling family portraits with a golden retriever in the background, the Addams flip the script. Love doesn't come from appearances. They live in what looks like a haunted house. But between Gomez's passionate devotion to Morticia and the way Pugsley and Wednesday bond over torture ideas, there's something shockingly real happening. Care, respect, support. You know, actual family stuff. And here's the delicious irony. This family, created as a total satire of the traditional model, might be closer to a functional, loving home than the ones we're told to idolize. Because, let's be honest, how many perfect families hide emotional silence, buried resentment, forced smiles, and rules that suffocate? That's where the Addams drop the mic, or maybe a guillotine, on society's double standards. They couldn't care less about fitting in. They live their truth in all its weird, morbid glory, without masks. And guess what? It works. They don't try to fix each other. They celebrate what makes them strange. At their core, the Addams are screaming the thing most people are afraid to admit: being normal is overrated. With every dark joke and bizarre ritual, they tear down the myth that happiness comes from following rules or pretending everything's fine. They show us that love isn't about looking right. It's about feeling safe, accepted, and fully seen, even in the weirdest parts of ourselves. Alright, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into one of the boldest, most deliciously subversive truths in all of fiction. The Addams family isn't just that quirky, spooky bunch we all secretly, or not so secretly, love. No, they're the exact opposite of the fake, picture-perfect families society keeps trying to sell us. And the wildest part? They're honest, unapologetically, terrifyingly honest. And that freaks people out. Because when you really look at them, past the cobwebs and coffin-shaped furniture, you see something that hits like a plot twist. They actually work, like really work. While so many normal families are cracking under the pressure of keeping up appearances, the Addams are thriving in their gloriously weird way. They're not hiding, they're not pretending, they're just being. And being real, folks, is way scarier than any monster under the bed. Meanwhile, out here in the so-called real world, you've got kids afraid to show who they really are, couples staying together out of convenience, families where silence is louder than love. All because of that one haunting phrase, "What will people think?" But inside the Addams mansion, that fear doesn't exist. Their weirdness isn't rebellion, it's instinct. They're not trying to shock the world. They're just existing, comfortably and confidently, as their eccentric selves. No masks. No filters, just pure, raw authenticity. And if you want the ultimate proof that this family works, 2 words: Gomez. Morticia. Forget couple goals. They're the blueprint. This isn't just passion. It's devotion in its most theatrical, over-the-top, heart-melting form. Gomez watches Morticia like she's the moon, the stars, and every forbidden spell in the book. He listens. He adores. He responds to her every word like it's magic, because to him, it is. And Morticia? She's not just the queen of the castle. She's its heartbeat. She doesn't need to raise her voice. She commands with calm, grace, and those eyes that could turn a man to dust or make him fall in love all over again. Gomez chooses the second one. Daily, she leads not with control, but with presence, quiet strength, emotional intelligence. She's the grounding force of that chaotic household, and she does it all with the elegance of someone who could curse your soul, but chooses instead to offer you tea. Alright, let's talk about one of the most criminally underrated power couples in all of fiction, Gomez and Morticia Addams. While most love stories in movies and shows fizzle out after the first kiss or get buried under years of boredom, these two are out here making eternal passion look effortless, and a little bit deadly, in the best way. There's no jealousy between them, no power games, no silent treatments or "we need to talk" standoffs. What they have is something way rarer, a real partnership. They listen to each other. They make decisions together. They fuel their passion daily. No shame, no filter, no holding back. And that fire? It's not blind. It's built on solid ground. Gomez adores Morticia because he sees her strength, her grace, her razor-sharp mind, and that darkly poetic view of the world. And Morticia loves Gomez because he's unafraid to feel. He dives headfirst into his emotions, expresses love like an art form, and cherishes her like she's the moon in his personal Gothic sky. And here's the twist. Their relationship absolutely shatters the tired old cliches we've been spoon-fed for decades. You know, the ones where older couples are bored, disconnected, just going through the motions? Not here. Gomez and Morticia are on a never-ending honeymoon. They're not just husband and wife. They're lovers, co-conspirators, best friends. Living proof that a long-term relationship doesn't have to mean fading sparks. It can be all fire, all the time. And the ripple effect? Oh, it hits the kids hard, in the best way. Wednesday and Pugsley grow up in a home where being different isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. Where expressing weird, wild emotions is completely normal. Where thinking outside the box isn't punished. It's practically a family tradition. And because of that, both kids show up in the world with confidence, critical thinking, and a sense of identity that's rare even in adults. They don't fear speaking up. They're not afraid to question authority or challenge what feels wrong. They know who they are, because no one ever told them they had to be anything else. And that is what every childhood should allow. The freedom to build your own identity without the weight of judgment. What society sees as strange in the Addams family is actually freedom. Freedom to feel, to express, to look how you want, love how you want, and live how you want. And that kind of freedom, it makes people uncomfortable because it smashes the illusion that there's a single formula for happiness. If you ever thought the Addams family was just a bunch of spooky weirdos with a flair for coffins and candlelit dinners, buckle up, because we're about to open the crypt and reveal what's really going on behind those Gothic curtains. And spoiler alert, it's not just fun and games. It's a razor-sharp, gloriously dark critique of everything society calls normal. Still not convinced? Let's jump straight into the glorious madness of the 90s Addams Family films, a visual feast of dark humor and unapologetic rebellion. Now, pay attention to the villains. They're not monsters, not creatures from the deep. The villains are the normal ones. The polite manipulators, the ones who smile too much, follow all the rules, and are desperate to stuff the Addams into a neat little box labeled socially acceptable. And then there's Addams family values. Oh boy, that summer camp? It's basically a step-forward nightmare in khaki shorts. Kids are trained to smile on command, act happy, obey blindly, and perform joy like it's a school play. It's a horror movie disguised as a self-esteem workshop. Enter Wednesday Addams. With her death stare, monotone sass, and zero tolerance for **T. The clash is instant. She doesn't play along. She doesn't fake it. And when she finally snaps back with that iconic, fiery monologue and a full-on mock rebellion, the message couldn't be clearer. Being different is not the problem. Forcing everyone to be the same? That's the real horror story. And this is where the genius of the Addams family hits full throttle. They're not just quirky. They're not begging to be liked. They're refusing to conform. They are the living, stylish, unapologetic rejection of the idea that there's one correct way to live. They don't need your approval. They just want one thing: freedom. And that emotional, aesthetic, behavioral freedom is radical. To be unconventional, in their case, isn't a flaw. It's a statement. They're not trying to fit into a pre-approved mold. They refuse to trade authenticity for acceptance. And ironically, that's exactly what makes them one of the most emotionally functional families fiction has ever created. Because in the end, what makes a family isn't the appearance. It's not the structure. It's not checking off the ideal boxes. It's the presence of real connection, of space, of listening, of love without conditions. And the Addams? They have that in spades, right alongside the booby traps and pet tarantulas. Here's the truth. The Addams live the way most people wish they could, fearlessly, fully themselves, without ever dimming their flame to make others comfortable. And that's not scary. That's inspiringly human. And if you enjoyed this deep, dark, and delicious dive into the world of the Addams family, you know what to do. Hit that like button to keep the creepy love going, subscribe so you don't miss any wild theories or behind-the-scenes secrets, and, most importantly, click on the video that's about to pop up on your screen. There's more epic content waiting for you, packed with twists, iconic characters, and the kind of sharp, curious takes that make watching your favorite stories even better.